Okay, so you're always trying to learn new things, right? Trying to get ahead, especially in business.
Yeah.
Well, today's deep dive might completely change how you think about things.
Okay.
We're going to look at this idea that getting advice and guidance from someone more experienced than you, a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
might actually be even more valuable than getting funding for your business,
Interesting.
especially for someone like you who's always focused on maximizing knowledge.
Right.
So get ready. It's going to be a good one.
I'm excited.
We're pulling insights from this podcast called Angel Mentors,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
which is kind of funny considering that it's all about mentorship.
Yeah, it is a bit ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's dig into this whole mentorship versus investment thing.
Yeah.
See, investors, they provide the money, which is obviously important.
Right.
But mentors, they bring something different to the table.
Okay.
They bring clarity, long-term vision, and that crucial ability to help you grow in the right direction.
Yeah. That's so important, the right direction.
Especially for someone like you who's all about learning effectively and not wasting time.
Exactly. It's like you could have all the money in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but if you don't know what to do with it,
Right.
if you don't have that guidance,
You'll just end up wasting it.
yeah, exactly. You're not going to actually achieve anything.
Like you could have the fastest car in the world,
Oh, I like this.
but without a skilled driver.
And a clear route.
Exactly.
You're not going to win any races.
You're just going to crash and burn.
Ooh, that's a powerful image.
Yeah.
And speaking of winning, the Angel Mentors podcast shared this really interesting story about Airbnb.
Oh, yeah. What about that?
You know, back in the early days when they were first starting out,
I know that story.
they had funding,
Yeah.
but they were having trouble getting people to use their platform.
Right.
And what's interesting is that it wasn't more money that turned things around for them.
Exactly.
It was their mentor, Paul Graham.
Oh, yeah. I like Paul Graham.
Yeah, who noticed something small but really important.
Whoop.
He told them to improve the quality of the photos on their listings.
Oh, wow. So simple.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, it was just this tiny little adjustment.
Yeah, but sometimes it's those small details that make all the difference.
It's like, you know, when you're looking through a telescope
Yeah.
and you make a tiny adjustment to the focus
Right.
and suddenly, boom.
The whole universe comes into view.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that.
Wow, that's a great way to put it.
And that tiny adjustment in Airbnb's case led to a massive increase in bookings.
Yeah, I bet.
And that helped them become the huge company they are today.
Absolutely.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how many other businesses out there could benefit from that kind of targeted advice
Yeah.
from an expert who can see things that you might miss.
It's invaluable.
Absolutely. But it's not just about startups.
Right.
The podcast also talked about how Steve Jobs mentored Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, yeah. That's a classic example.
And that mentorship was all about having a long-term vision, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Steve Jobs was a master of that.
Yeah.
And he didn't just tell Zuckerberg to think long term. He gave him really specific advice.
Oh, like what?
He told him to focus on building a strong team of engineers
Okay.
and to create a product that people absolutely loved,
Right.
even if it meant waiting a little longer to make money from it.
So he was really emphasizing putting the users first
Exactly.
and building a solid foundation.
That's right.
Wow. And Zuckerberg actually listened to that advice.
He did, and it paid off big time.
Yeah. He resisted the temptation to clutter Facebook with ads early on,
Mm-hmm.
which allowed them to build a huge and loyal user base.
Millions and millions of users.
And that's what ultimately made Facebook one of the most successful companies ever.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It really is. So having that experienced voice in your ear,
Mm-hmm.
someone who's been through it all before,
Right.
it's like having a seasoned captain guiding your ship through a storm.
Love that analogy.
And it's not just about avoiding danger. It's also about using those challenges to propel you forward.
Exactly. Mentors help you navigate those big decisions,
Yeah.
but they also help you bring ideas to life.
Ooh, that's a good point.
And we see this perfectly in the story of Walt Disney and iWorks,
Ah, the creators of Mickey Mouse.
the one and only.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't know this, but iWorks wasn't just Disney's business partner.
He was more than that.
He was a crucial mentor, especially in those early days.
I see.
It was iWorks' artistic talent and guidance that helped shape Mickey Mouse into the icon we know today.
Wow, so they really fed off each other's strengths.
Yeah, Disney had the vision and iWorks had the skills to bring those visions to life.
That's awesome. So investors might fund the dream,
Mm-hmm.
but mentors help you actually build it brick by brick.
That's a great way to think about it.
And that's something so important to remember for someone like you who's always looking to learn and apply new knowledge.
It is, investors might bet on your potential,
Right.
But mentors invest in you, the person.
That personal investment, it means so much more.
It does. It's not just about the money. It's about believing in someone's ability to learn and grow.
And achieve great things.
Exactly. And that belief can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it's like a seed that's planted and nurtured.
Given the right conditions to flourish.
And it makes me think of those other examples from the podcast.
Like what?
Like Howard Schultz of Starbucks being mentored by Bill Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
And Eric Schmidt guiding the Google founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin.
Right. Those were some high-impact mentorships.
These weren't just casual chats over coffee.
No, they provided guidance during critical moments.
When those companies were scaling up.
Yeah, and dealing with all the challenges of becoming billion-dollar businesses.
Which is no easy feat.
Not at all.
It's pretty intense.
It is.
And it brings up a really important question.
What's that?
How do we as individuals figure out what kind of mentorship we need?
Yeah, how do we even begin to figure that out?
That's a big question.
It is. But the Angel Mentors podcast gave some great advice.
Oh, good. I'm ready.
They suggested starting with 3 key questions.
Okay, give me the questions.
All right, the first one is, what is your biggest challenge right now?
Okay, that makes sense.
You got to really dig deep here.
Mm-hmm.
What's keeping you up at night?
Yeah.
What obstacle feels impossible to overcome?
Got it.
Identifying this is the first step to finding the right guidance.
So really understanding the problem.
Exactly, pinpointing it before you can even start looking for a solution.
Makes sense.
All right, so that's the first question.
Got it. What's the next one?
The second question is, what skills or experiences are you missing?
Ooh. Okay, so getting specific.
Right, this is all about identifying those gaps.
I like it.
Maybe you're amazing at marketing,
Mm-hmm.
but you need help with finances.
Right. Or you're a brilliant coder, but you struggle with managing a team.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's so important to recognize that even the most talented people have areas where they can grow.
Absolutely. Everyone has weaknesses.
And it's actually a strength to admit that.
Totally. It shows self-awareness.
And it makes finding the right mentor so much easier.
Right. You're not just looking for any mentor.
You're looking for someone with the specific expertise you need.
Exactly.
It's like when you're trying to find a specific spice to complete a recipe.
Oh, I love that analogy.
You know exactly what flavor you're missing.
You can taste it in your mind.
Yes. Okay, so that's question number 2.
That's right. What do you think the third question is?
Let me think about it. It's probably something about the future.
You got it.
Like, where do you see yourself in a few years?
That's exactly it. Where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years?
Okay, so this is all about the long game.
It is.
Thinking beyond the immediate challenges.
And envisioning your ideal future.
Right.
What does success look like to you?
What kind of impact do you want to make?
Powerful questions, right?
They really are.
Yeah.
And a good mentor won't just help you navigate the present.
Right.
They'll help you create a path towards your future.
Exactly. It's like having a co-pilot who helps you set the coordinates for your ultimate destination.
Yeah, that destination might change along the way.
It might.
But having that clear vision.
It helps you find a mentor who's aligned with your goals.
Okay, so we've figured out what we need.
Right.
We know where we want to go.
We've got our map and compass.
Now, what should we be looking for in a mentor?
Great question. The Angel Mentors podcast highlighted 4 key qualities.
Okay, I'm ready.
And I think they nailed it.
All right, let's hear it.
First and foremost, you want someone with experience.
Okay, so someone who's been there, done that.
Right, someone who's faced challenges and come out stronger on the other side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They've been in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's easy to get caught up in looking for mentors who have only had successes.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
But what about failures?
Right. Aren't those just as valuable?
I think even more so. We
Yeah.
learn so much from our mistakes.
Absolutely.
Maybe even more than from our successes. So the podcast actually emphasized the importance of a track record that includes failures.
Yeah, because a mentor who's been through tough times, they have a different perspective
They can help you avoid those pitfalls.
and navigate those tricky situations.
Exactly.
It's like having a guide who knows the safest path through a dangerous jungle.
Perfect analogy.
Okay, so experience is key.
And a track record that includes both successes and failures.
Yeah, what's the next quality?
This one might sound a little counterintuitive.
Okay, yep, I'm intrigued.
You want a mentor who's willing to challenge your thinking.
Oh, so not just someone who agrees with me all the time.
Exactly.
They should push me to think differently.
That's right. They shouldn't just be a yes man.
They should question my assumptions.
And encourage you to step outside your comfort zone.
So it's about having those tough conversations.
Yes.
And getting honest feedback, even when it's hard to hear.
Sometimes that's the most valuable feedback.
It is, because it helps you grow.
It does.
Okay, so that's number 3. What's the 4th quality?
This one's all about genuine interest in your growth.
Okay, so they're invested in my success,
Exactly, and not just in a transactional way.
but on a personal level,
Right. They genuinely want to see you thrive.
and reach your full potential.
That's what makes a great mentor,
It's like they're cheering you on from the sidelines.
and offering guidance and support every step of the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And let's be real,
Yeah.
you also want someone you enjoy talking to.
Absolutely.
Mentorship shouldn't feel like a chore.
It should be energizing and inspiring.
You should be excited to talk to them.
Exactly. It's about building a real connection
A relationship built on trust.
and mutual respect.
Yeah, the podcast brought up something interesting.
Oh, what was that?
It doesn't always have to be like a formal one-on-one mentorship.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
They talked about Oprah Winfrey and her relationship with Maya Angelou, right?
Yeah, but they also mentioned Sarah Blakely.
The founder of Thanks?
That's right. And she didn't have a traditional mentor.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she found what she called virtual mentors.
Oh, interesting. How did she do that?
She immersed herself in the stories and lessons of other successful entrepreneurs,
Oh,
people like Richard Branson.
okay.
She read their books, she listened to their interviews,
So she basically treated these people as her guiding lights.
even though she never met them in person.
That's so cool. So it's about being resourceful
It is,
and finding inspiration and guidance wherever you can.
even if it's not in that traditional face-to-face format.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay, so we've established that mentorship is incredibly valuable.
right.
And we've talked about what to look for in a mentor.
We've got our checklist.
But how do we actually find these mentors?
Yeah. Where do we even start?
That's the big question.
It is, but the Angel Mentors podcast had some good suggestions.
All right, let's hear them.
They mentioned platforms specifically designed for connecting mentors and mentees.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those online.
There are tons of them popping up.
And some of them focus on specific industries or demographics.
Exactly, you can really narrow it down.
That's cool.
They also talked about the power of networking events and mastermind groups.
Right.
Those can be great ways to connect with experienced people.
In a more casual setting.
Yeah, and build those initial connections.
It's all about building relationships.
It is.
And don't forget about LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, good point.
It's not just for job hunting anymore.
Not at all.
You can use it to reach out to thought leaders and start conversations.
Absolutely.
It's about putting yourself out there.
And seeing what happens.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You never know where those connections might lead.
It's like planting seeds.
I like that.
You nurture those connections,
Provide value where you can.
and sometimes those seeds grow into incredible mentorships.
That you never could have predicted.
It's amazing how it works out sometimes.
It really is. So it's not about waiting for the perfect mentor to magically appear.
Right.
It's about actively seeking out those opportunities for learning and growth.
That's what it's all about.
It's about embracing that learner's mindset,
The always be learning mentality.
which you embody so well.
Thank you.
It's about being curious, asking questions, and being open to new perspectives.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And you know what's funny?
What's that?
We often think of mentorship as this formal, structured thing.
Right, like you have to sign a contract or something.
But it sounds like it can be much more organic.
Yeah, but
More about those chance encounters and connections we make along the way.
it's about serendipity.
Exactly. It could be a former professor,
Yeah.
a colleague in a different field,
Mm-hmm.
or even someone you've never met.
But whose work you admire.
Right. And that's what makes this whole conversation so exciting.
I agree.
It's about empowering you to take control of your own learning journey.
You're in the driver's seat.
Yeah. To seek out the guidance you need.
And find those people who can help you grow.
And to recognize that mentorship can be a catalyst for success.
Absolutely. It can change your life.
It can. So to recap,
Mm-hmm.
we've explored how mentorship can be even more valuable than funding.
Right.
We've talked about the qualities to look for in a mentor.
Experience, track record, willingness to challenge you, and a genuine interest in your growth.
Yeah, and we've discussed how to actually find those mentors.
Through platforms, networking events, LinkedIn, and even virtual mentors.
And now
Yeah.
we want to leave you with something to think about.
Something to spark action.
What's your biggest business challenge right now?
Or that one skill you've been wanting to develop.
What's that nagging question that keeps popping up in your mind?
Write it down.
Get crystal clear on what you're looking for.
And then start exploring those avenues we talked about.
Maybe it's joining a mentorship platform.
Attending a networking event.
Or just reaching out to someone whose work you admire.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
You never know what might happen.
Right. Even small steps can lead to big breakthroughs.
Think about those little adjustments Airbnb made to their photos.
Or Zuckerberg's decision to delay monetization
Those seemingly small choices, guided by wise mentors.
had a massive impact.
And who knows what ripple effect you could create by taking action today?
That's a great point.
It's a powerful thought,
It is.
and it perfectly sums up the message we want to leave you with.
What's that?
Mentorship isn't just a nice to have.
It's more than that.
It's a game changer.
It can completely transform your trajectory,
It's about unlocking your potential
exceeding your own expectations.
and making a real impact.
That's what it's all about.
And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one sharing your wisdom.
As a mentor,
Yeah,
paying it forward, guiding the next generation.
it's a beautiful cycle.
It is, and it all starts with embracing the power of mentorship.
That's a great way to put it.
I'm glad you think so.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of mentorship.
I hope our listeners found it valuable.
We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and most importantly, actionable.
Yeah, we want you to actually use this information.
Right. Go out there and make a difference.
Until next time,
Keep learning
keep growing.
and keep seeking out those connections that can help you reach your full potential.
That's the key.
Absolutely.
Take care, everyone.